Jessica, welcome. What is going on? What's your
Hello.
question? How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am a little under the
As you take
weather. I'm not going to lie. I think there's some, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know if it's like, the latest COVID variant or whatever they're talking about on the
I
news.
think that's the type of stuff. That's the type of stuff I help people with.
There you go. See, I maybe it's just my rampant paranoia that I'm going to get sick. And that's what I am. I usually stand during this show, like when I'm talking to people, but I'm sitting down today. I'm like a chilly little old man. I got my heater behind me right now. So I'm just sucking water down. But hey, listen, here's what I believe in my business. You're going to wake up feeling bad some days. And I believe it's what you do on the days you feel bad that actually move the needle. And so many people fail because they got the sore throat. They got the little cough. They're not feeling good. They got the little fever. Listen, if I'm in the hospital, I ain't going live. But anything short of that, we're probably going to do it. So let's roll. Let's make this happen.
I have an entire business based off the fact that my health failed me at one point in my life, and doctors couldn't help me, and I had to figure out my way out of it.
See?
And so I figured out my way out of it, and now I help other people do the same. And so
there you go. That was a great sales pitch. You just did your sales pitch for your entire business. You need to transcribe this episode and put that on your sales page. So that's good copy. That is great copy. All right, what's your question right now?
Well, so I have a list of about 76 people. I've got 13 memberships sold from that, and I'm trying to figure out where to focus next.
Yep.
So the majority of what I've sold have been from people who either personally have known me and known my story, and or they get to talk to me and they believe in what I do and then they buy. I'm not confident that my sales funnel itself, outside of if people talk to me, is working great, but I also obviously have a very small list, at 76 people. And so I feel like I'm doing a lot ad hoc right now, and I'm very much a systems person. I need to figure out my system.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should focus on the sales funnel first, or do I focus on growing the list first? And where do I really put my effort and energy at this point? And then how do I get that into a system?
All right. So one thing I want to comment, let me comment on a couple things here. One, your sales funnel is working. I don't care who got into it. Someone bought something. Right? If an offer converts, it's converting. So now there is an improvement that needs to be done in your funnels. Our funnels are constantly evolving. You will never, ever get to the end of that journey. Everybody's got to remember that. Your sales funnel, like the market changes, messaging changes. Now you're going to get it like I can throw up a sales page right now. I know it's going to convert because we have a checklist and we just do what it says. Then we make it better over time. So that is a part of the process. But after you get your minimum viable product out, after you get one thing to convert, the game is get more leads. I literally was writing down my plan for the next quarter. We don't really call them quarters. We do 16 weeks instead of 12. We call them cycles. But I was making my plan for the next section, and I was looking at my calendar, and I was like, well, what's my best use of time every day, as the driver of the company? And basically I'm like, if I'm not doing marketing and sales from 9 to 12 every day, I'm not growing. I have to find the next lead source. I mean, yesterday, one of the things I was doing, I was thinking about leads. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do to get more leads? Number one, when I get on stage, I get names and emails. So I reached out to 3 people that I know are doing live events. I'm going to be speaking in Vegas next month. I'm going to be speaking 2 months from now in Nashville. And then I was working out a deal to maybe do an event in December, right? Because I know that gets me leads. That's one of my best places to get leads. My podcast, am I sharing my podcast on every social media network every day? The team, we got to figure that out. We got to figure out how more people can discover it. Are we spending ads on discovery? A lot of people don't want to. A lot of people teach sales funnels like, well, you've got to liquidate every dollar of ad spend. That means if you spend $5, you got to get an email and get someone to give you $5. But that's not true. Eyeballs matter. Are you spending $5 a day on Facebook telling people about your podcast, or on YouTube telling people about your channel, right? So really now the game is you got to get more leads. That's you need to set a goal probably to get to 1,000 emails. And once you set that goal, it will orient your brain to figuring out that particular problem. And I'd say 80% of your time right now should be getting leads, making content, getting and guesting, getting out there and getting leads, because it's just math. everybody. If more people are at the top of the funnel, more people come out the bottom. Don't get into the busy work of tweaking your funnel until you hundreds of people are going through your funnel, right? Okay. So that's where you need to focus that. So just on a follow up on that, like what do you think are 3 ways you could get more leads? Like what are you doing right now? What's your content strategy? What's your other strategies that you're doing on that?
Yeah, so I've been focusing mostly on, I'm in a lot of organic traffic is what I would say. So I've been in a lot of Facebook groups where I'm posting, I'm getting people that way, I'm getting attention that way, but it's slow. I've considered ads. I've started to connect with other people who have podcasts and looking at, getting, borrowing their audiences per se. Yep. I don't have my own podcast. I've just, tried to decide if I was ready to commit to that or not. I have struggled with, if I create my own podcast, I feel like I have the same problem of people finding my podcast because the market is so flooded.
But hold on. 1, 2, stop.
Yeah.
1, the market is never flooded because you are a market of 1.
Yeah.
Jessica,
okay.
It's your personality. There's no market flooded, right?
Okay.
Number 2, that's not true because the second you start creating content on YouTube or doing a podcast, search engines can find you based on the words you say and the things you're creating. Now, the algorithms will put you in front of the right people so people can discover you. And if you do this on YouTube, especially, you can run ads directly to your content to force yourself into front of people who are searching for the names of your podcast. Like if your thing is like New Hope Natural Healing, right? If someone types in natural healing and you go buy ads to target that keyword, when they type in natural healing, guess what they see? An ad for Jessica's show, right?
So do you think that I'm best to, I know you're obviously in favor of podcasts. I mean, am I better to start my own versus borrowing others' audiences? And
you have to do both. You have to do both.
Okay.
You have to do both. That's the way the game's played. So like, and I would say one thing that we have evolved into now is we are YouTube first. That's why this is now called a show and not a podcast. So like, Earn and Grow Show is what we call this, because the show can be anywhere. If I say the word podcast, it feels like I'm just repurposing on YouTube. And YouTube first is probably going to be better going forward because you can always just take the audio and make it a podcast.
Right.
But discovery happens in search engines, and YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. Okay. Relationship is built on the podcast because the podcast can be taken with people in the car, in the bathroom, at the gym, like wherever they go, right? So you have to do both. You have to have YouTube for discoverability. You have to have the podcast for the relationship. But remember, that's not double work. It's just taking the audio and airing it. That's where the relationship's built. And then both channels are designed for one thing: get people from your audience onto the email list where you can actually communicate with them, or into social media networks where you can do things too. Okay. Cool. Great question. Hey, give everybody real quick. Tell everybody your domain name real quick. We'll let you give yourself a shameless plug, and then we're going to grab another question. Okay.
NewHopeNaturalHealing.com.
Guys, we really are in the game of getting eyeballs and attention on everything that we do, because we want our stuff to be found. The funnel will take care of itself. Yeah, it's all about discovery, guys. If you're not getting found, then it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it absolutely doesn't matter. So the top of the funnel is where most of your focus is. If you'll notice inside of our blueprint, how we actually teach this is we start with an idea, and then we create a product offer, a minimum viable product. And then we get it in front of as many people as we can early, and then we start building an audience. We build the funnel backwards so that once you get all those foundation layers built, all you have to focus on is getting more people to see your stuff. You understand? Like, that's absolutely it. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that. So focus on your funnel, get more people at the top of the funnel, and you're going to be a lot more people coming out the bottom as well.